Greetings, Professor and fellow students. My name is Patrick Dempsey, and I'm here to talk about the Zara case. This video is kind of an overview of the PowerPoint and should be watched after you watch Jason Tatalovich's video. Jason went over the pros and cons of Zara keeping the DOS operating system, and I'm going to kind of go over the pros and cons of Zara implementing a new system to use for information systems and a new information technology infrastructure and the implications of implementing a new system. So if you please go open the PowerPoint, I'm going to start about halfway at the slide that says problem statement, and that's where I'm going to start my presentation from. So basically Zara currently has a problem. Their operating system is obsolete. They use DOS, and it really leads to a lot of operational inefficiencies. Some examples of those inefficiencies: there's really a shortage of the appropriate hardware available currently on the market that supports DOS. There's only one company that is making the hardware, and they won't sign a contract with Zara. So if they stop making the hardware, then Zara is going to be in big trouble. Additionally, the DOS operating system, it really restricts kind of networking. There's no in-store networking. There's no networking between POS terminals. There's no networking from store to store to check inventories. So it's really a lot of manpower has to go into transferring the information, and they even use floppy drives to transfer the information from POS terminal to POS terminal. Additionally, and probably most importantly, there's just a lack of real-time communication through all the players in the value chain. That would be the stores, the manufacturers, and the designers, and the company headquarters. They do update every day, and information does flow every day, but if they upgraded to a new POS system and a new operating system, a lot of their inventories could be compiled and flown throughout the value system in real time, which would be very beneficial for the organization. Okay, so if you will go to the next slide, that's going to be the slide that says proposed future state. Basically, I'm proposing that Zara upgrades and updates to a customizable POS system utilizing some Ethernet or wireless capability, and they could use this as a platform to facilitate growth. And I'm also urging them to make a gradual investment in IT personnel, and also to kind of maybe have some continuing education options for management about, the implications of the new POS operating systems and some of the additional systems that they could add on. This is very important for two reasons. The first reason is that Zara has to remain in alignment. We talked about the information systems triangle, and that was basically the business strategy, the organizational strategy, and the information system strategy all kind of have to be in alignment. So if Zara starts implementing new IT infrastructure and information systems policy, their organizational strategy is most likely going to have to change a little bit. And managers throughout the firm are kind of going to have to make some decisions based on cost-benefit analysis, but it will be very beneficial if they were properly educated how to make these decisions. Okay, so basically we've laid out that we want to upgrade, to a new POS system that's customizable, and it's going to kind of improve the value delivery to the customer, and it's going to improve kind of the operational logistics in terms of the flow of information from different players in the value stream at Zara. So I'm just going to highlight briefly, if you go to the next slide, a couple of the additional systems that Zara could incorporate into on their operating system or with their POS system to kind of enhance the company's operations. The first one you see there is the customer relationship management. Basically, this is a system that really tries to improve the relationship of the customer, get to better know the customer. It helps organize the data relating to specific market segments and the target market and the target customer. It kind of like supports the management activities performed to obtain and enhance relationships and retain customers, and that's right out of the book. So this would really help Zara, cater its value offering to, kind of the ideal customer, and perhaps gather information and have a way to expand to other markets as well. The other system that they could implement is something like an ERP, which is an enterprise resource planning system. CRM is kind of an ERP, but I chose to highlight that above because Zara is really kind of all about, pulling customer demand to the supply chain and manufacturing what the customer wants quickly. So that's probably the most important aspect that they could implement. But, some of these other ERP systems, they really kind of streamline and integrate the information flow throughout the whole entire value chain and organization. And this would be helpful because it would really automate the process of the information flow. Currently, right now, the store manager, has a huge responsibility of kind of being one of the major information carriers of the firm. And although while that's kind of the organizational strategy, part of the organizational strategy of Zara, if they automate it, they would most likely reduce errors, and they could get real-time information flowing constantly from the store, and it could flow from all the players in the value stream and really kind of lean out the fat in the operations, logistics of the operations within the value chain. So the next slide, I'm going to just briefly talk about the guiding principles of Zara as an organization. I chose to put this in here because I think it's very important always when you're considering upgrading the IT infrastructure or implementing new hardware and software, or changing your information strategies policy. It's important that you always keep in mind the business structure and the organizational structure because you have to stay in alignment as a company. So basically on this slide I put a quote by the CEO of Inditex, and I'll just read from that right now. The original business idea was very simple. It's linking customer demand to manufacturing and link manufacturing to distribution. This is the idea we still live by. So, if they integrate one of these new POS systems and, use some of these other applications or systems such as ERP or CRM, they could really, implement this business strategy much more efficiently and, in real time without using the manpower and without using, obsolete items such as floppy disks. They could really use the new IT infrastructure to kind of better serve the customers based on their business statement. And also, the organizational structure is the next point on the slide. And basically, Zara is a decentralized organization, which means that, they give their store managers a lot of autonomy. And they have a reliance on their store managers and the reliance on the commercials. If they were to integrate and really create a new operating system and a new information systems policy and switch to a ERP or a CRM, it would change the organizational strategy somewhat. But I would argue that they could still stay somewhat decentralized. Sure, a lot of the information flow would be automated. The store manager and the associates wouldn't have to spend time compiling this data and sending it off to the manufacturers and the commercials and the home base. They would do other things, but I would still argue that there would be some room for decentralization in management, and the store manager could make important decisions about, stock in the store. But here we're kind of just talking about this new system would just kind of allow for a better flow of just information in general. So the next slide I'm just going to talk about, it's the benefits of an upgrade, what the upgrade to a new operating system, such as Linux. There's a variety of ones on the market that they could use. So the benefits, the operating system is going to be compatible with a wider variety of hardware. Like I said previously, if the manufacturer of the hardware that Zara is working with now doesn't make the hardware anymore, they're really in a tight place, and it could really thwart the growth of the company if that manufacturer stops making the hardware that's compatible with DOS. They really need an operating system that's going to be compatible with a variety of new hardwares if they want to expand in other markets and continue to do so cost effectively. Additionally, and probably most importantly, the information that flows throughout the organization and throughout the value chain is going to be much less fragmented. It's kind of going to, be all integrated and flow seamlessly between the primary actors in the value chain. And, that's really important. It saves time and energy, and I believe in the long run it'll also kind of save costs and be more efficient for the organization. Additionally, the new operating system is going to support a plethora, an abundance of new technologies that Zara can use to both increase the efficiency throughout its supply chain and to kind of cater the value delivery to the customer to better serve the customer. So the next slide, I know what you're all thinking, it's about costs. Anytime we make a big change in business, we really want to know what's the cost of this new venture. Will it be cost effective? I chose to put this, kind of in the cons of of upgrading to a new operating system, because there's a huge cost associated with getting new hardware and the software updates, the employee training, having to install the new hardware, having to make sure everything's functioning properly with their new operating system. And Jason and I did a basic cost analysis of implementing one of these new systems. And if you want to go ahead, and I'm going to add it to the discussion board for you to open in just a Word document, we kind of just outlined basically, an estimation, a simple cost analysis of upgrading to a new operating system. And we kind of found it would, a good estimate would be about 60.5 million euros to upgrade this system and get it fully running and train staff and, do continuing education for managers. And that's a lot of money. That's about 14% of their 2002 net income. So this would be a huge decision for the firm, and it will be wise to, gather as much information as possible and possibly, talk to people that are very well educated about information systems and information technology, in order to make the decision. Another cost, associated with the upgrade of this operating system is that it could lead to a disruption of the, successful decentralized business organization that Zara currently has. Zara is a successful company right now, or as of 2002 when this case study came out. They're very successful, with the flow of information throughout the company as it is, using DOS. But, that's not the problem. The problem is that this DOS could become completely obsolete, and, they're going to be between a rock and a hard place in trying to figure out how to move information throughout the company. So, most likely in order to get past this disruption of the normal business operations, there would have to be some kind of change in the organizational strategy. And we're going to post a discussion question this week asking you guys how you would tweak the organizational strategy to better suit the new operating system. Thirdly and finally, with the cost of an upgrade, there's a huge risk kind of in always doing something new, not only with tweaking the alignment, but also they're implementing a new operating system, and there's going to be some, bugs that they're going to have to fix out. And, even though DOS is old, DOS is a pretty stable operating system. When they first implement these new systems, they might have problems integrating the information flow, and they would have to work out those logistics kind of as they go, utilizing specialized personnel. So the next slide, I'm just going to do a brief conclusion of, this side of the analysis. Basically, currently Zara's doing okay with the DOS operating system. They're moving information, but I would argue that they could really do a lot better. I'm advocating that they should upgrade the existing POS hardware and software. They should educate management, current management, possibly recruit some new IT personnel, and maybe perhaps gradually incorporate some of this customer relationship management and enterprise resource planning software or systems, and kind of just take it a step at a time. But they need to upgrade their operating system. Additionally, I'm kind of suggesting that maybe they upgrade to a wireless-friendly or a network-friendly handheld device, new PDAs. And, in fact, some of the new PDAs are even handheld POS devices. So they could be integrated with the POS system that Zara uses. And, they're much more user-friendly than the PDAs, even the recent PDAs shown in the case study. I think that this is important, to just briefly discuss the hardware. If you go to this conclusion slide and you look at the guys sitting there in their snazzy clothes, they're a lot better dressed than I am right now. And I think you could venture to say that, Zara's customers really care about fashion and clothes and aesthetics and how things look. So, you don't want to have these, outdated, POS systems that only use DOS. They're older, they're clunky computers, they're not very pleasing to look at, and neither are the PDAs, whereas some of the, the newer handheld POS devices, look much more like a modern-day iPhone or, Samsung Galaxy. They look much more sleek and aesthetic. And I think that this is also kind of really important from a customer viewpoint when they're coming into the store. If you look at some of the store layouts or some in the background of this PowerPoint, they're beautiful, and they want kind of sexy technology to go along with that. They want their hardware to look good. So in conclusion, I'm really, advocating that Zara needs to really upgrade its IT infrastructure, and this is going to kind of help information flow more seamlessly throughout the value chain, and it's also going to improve how, it's going to help them better serve their customers. And I think that given this cost-benefit analysis, this would be the way to go. So I'd like to thank you all for your time, for listening to this presentation, and I hope you have a nice day. Thank you.